What's up, gang? Matt here with Project Unbroken. Long time no see. Apologies for the lapse in time with these videos. I know Greg made a few months back now, kind of checking in with you guys, and recently we saw a comment we were talking about, and it was basically asking if we were alive or if we relapsed or if we were okay, and we are alive and well. We have not relapsed. We have been dealing with the struggles of 2020, like I'm sure all of you can sympathize with. But, just kind of batten down the hatches a little bit. We're taking care of ourselves, taking care of our families, and we did want to get back in touch with the Project Unbroken community for a bunch of different reasons. Long story short, I think everybody has been really negatively affected by the events of 2020, and these are things that that nobody could escape from. Everybody felt a change in their day-to-day routine. A lot of people lost their source of income. A lot of people had to shut their business down. Just everybody's had to make some changes, and I'm sure everybody has kind of felt some level of stress because of those changes. Sure, some people have it worse than others, but at the end of the day, you only know your level of struggle. So, in my opinion, you just have to kind of focus on what's happening in your life and do the best you can to make the best out of it. So, a little bit about what happened with my year and why I've been a little bit absent. I mean, if you guys have been following us for a while, last year, Greg and I we both welcomed new members into our families. We both have little babies now. They're going to be 2 in the next year. But we had new kids early on in 2020. I ended up selling my business, and right after I sold my business, quarantine went into effect. And it just turned my whole world upside down. And it was not necessarily a negative change. I was excited for the whole selling the business, starting a new line of work. But with change comes stress, and a lot of my habits kind of fell by the wayside. It got to this point where I went from almost 10 years of waking up at 4:30, working out early, doing my breathing exercises, stretching, meal prepping, coaching class. I had my routine set up in a really healthy and efficient way where I just knew what I was doing. I felt confident. I felt excited. And then when everything switched up, I was like, well, I guess I don't need to get up at 4:30 and work out early. I can just breathe later. I can stretch later. I'll just meal prep tomorrow. And you guys know how that goes. Everything all my healthy habits fell by the wayside, and before I know it, I'm like, God, I feel anxious, I feel depressed, and it didn't last long. I was able to pick all those things back up. It was not easy. Once you kind of fall off and start back up, it always sucks because you get comfortable doing less. But I at least had the awareness of, I knew what was going on, and I knew how to fix it. And I think, Greg and I were talking recently, a lot of people don't have those tools yet. And it took us a long time to get them. I mean, these are tools that we've been developing for, God, I guess going on 12 years now. And we've been through a lot of stressful situations. And these are the tools that we developed, through a decade of recovery, through, over 10 years of starting businesses and just taking risks, and just all these life situations that situations that life throws at you when you're not using, you develop these tools, and they come in handy. But when you don't have them and life throws some 2020 shit your way, it can knock you off your horse. And I am talking to people. Obviously we get a lot of feedback from Project Unbroken, comments and emails about things that people are struggling with, things that are, helping people out, habits that we talk about, for instance. And just in general, everybody's going through it in one way or the other. Even So much so that I'm having these conversations in, day-to-day life, like face-to-face conversations with people that are like, I'm not dealing with this, quarantine or pandemic or whatever as well as I thought I would. Like I'm feeling down and out. Or some people are kind of becoming anxious and depressed and they've never felt it before, so they don't even really know what it is. And I'm having more of these conversations, and I bumped into Greg, I guess like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, dude, we need to get back on the horse with this Project Unbroken. I think there's a million different reasons why Greg and I kind of got discouraged with Project Unbroken. I think we were discouraged mainly with ourselves because we were getting to a point where, kind of felt like I was saying the same thing over and over again. Kind of felt like I was answering the same questions the same way. And you start to look at, what a massive issue this is, and you're like, am I qualified to even, be talking about this stuff? But what I do know is that, what Greg and I have done has worked for a lot of people. And, even if what we say helps one person out, like at the end of the day, that's all we're really concerned with. So I think that we truly believe that, us at least having this conversation with you guys, which is how we look at this, it's going to help somebody. And you guys are a huge part of that. And we appreciate the continued support through, comments, emails. Like, you guys are overwhelmingly positive, and we're truly grateful for that. And we want to start kind of pulling our end or pulling our weight, and making sure that we're communicating with the community as well. So that's what we're here for. But another thing that, at least personally, that came along with me kind of backing away from Project Unbroken for a little while is I started to feel like I wasn't being as authentic as I wanted to be. There's a lot of things that I have done, tools that I've used, just the way that I am, that doesn't fall directly in line with a lot of, the recovery community at large believes in. I didn't do the 12 steps. I don't do meetings. AA, NA, a lot of what I think Greg and I believe personally, they wouldn't agree with. And so I kind of found myself holding some things back that I do believe. I've never said anything on Project Unbroken that I don't believe, but I have held back from saying some things that I do believe. And I think that kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth and didn't make me feel great. I want you guys not to listen to everything I say, but to at least understand that I'm telling you the truth. And again, I do want to reiterate that Greg and I have never said anything that we don't believe. But I know for at least me personally, there are some things that I should be more open about. And moving forward, I promise that'll be the case. And, if we get canceled or everybody hates us and we lose all of our followers or whatever the case may be, I'd rather have that happen than me feel like I'm not being 100% with you guys. For clarity's sake, I just want you guys to be aware that that's kind of the situation. And again, what you guys do for Project Unbroken is huge for us. It's you guys ask us questions, you guys leave comments and emails that make Greg and I look at things sometimes in an entirely new light. So in general, I have to say thank you for the continued support. It's been really great to have, that to fall back on. And we do still see success stories every day. We get emails a lot of times, this is personal stuff. A lot of times people want to keep it to themselves, but we get a lot of messages of people that are, either getting off dope and on a methadone or Suboxone, or they're getting off of methadone or Suboxone, or they're, starting up therapy. A lot of this stuff is not necessarily substance abuse issues. It's just mental health issues, which, I talk about in general. I think a lot of the times that we are using in the first place is because we're just trying to cope with something that's going on in our minds, and it gets out of control. But anyways, I guess what I'm here to say in this video is I'm going to pick it up on my end. I'm going to be making more videos. I'm going to be talking to you guys exactly about what is working for me, what I'm going through, how I'm dealing with it. And I'm hoping that, this is going to maybe help some people out there. And what I'm asking for you guys to do is continue to, send us questions, write us comments, let us know, how you think. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, what are you struggling with, what's helping, what's not helping. And I think we can kind of make this community a more positive tool for everybody to use. And I know a lot of you guys are out there spreading the word, and again, I really appreciate that. I know I'm speaking for Greg when I say that as well. We appreciate and love every one of you guys, and we're wishing you the best. So thank you again for your continued support. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned because I'm going to have another one coming soon. Take care, guys. See ya.